The GX-1B is designed for a streamlined workflow that gets you from idea to performance fast. In this video, we'll walk you through the essentials from basic setup to creating your first memory so you can start jamming, recording, and gigging straight away. On top of the GX-1B, you'll see the high-res color screen. 3 rotary encoders or knobs to help you quickly navigate options and adjust settings, plus 5 intuitive buttons for easy menu access, navigation, and memory write. You'll also notice 9 colourful hexagon-shaped buttons labelled with different effect block names, including an amp cab block. Known as the hex array, this puts the signal chain right at your fingertips, giving you immediate hands-on control. It also gives you clear visual feedback on things like effect status, parameters, signal levels, and tuning, so you know what's going on at a glance. A built-in expression pedal and 3 flexible foot switches let you control the GX-1B as you play. You can easily add up to 2 extra foot switches, an additional expression pedal, and even wireless Bluetooth controllers. Along the back, you have all the connections. There's your instrument input, mono and stereo outputs, a headphone jack, a control jack, a USB-C port, which you can use to power the GX-1B, and a DC barrel connector, which gives you the option to use an external Boss PSA adapter. The GX-1B works on battery power, and you'll be pleased to know we've included 4 in the box. The unit boots up as soon as you plug it in, so to conserve battery life, we recommend unplugging your bass when you're done. Before you start, press Menu to check the Output Select setting. This lets you optimize the GX-1B's output to match whatever it's plugged into, so you can get the best sound possible. The 3 knobs, labelled 1, 2, and 3, correspond to the highlighted boxes on the menu screen. Turn any one of them to scroll through the rows. And press knob 1 to see the Output Select options. Use the exit button to step back when you're done. We currently have line phone selected, which is correct in this case as we're using the GX-1B with a recording interface. There are multiple output options, including line phones, Katana bass power amp in, bass amp with tweeter, and bass amp no tweeter. This lets you match the GX-1B to whatever you're plugging into, so you get the best possible sound for your setup. The final step before we get stuck in is to make sure your bass is tuned. Hold down the up and down foot switches together and you'll see the tuner pop up. You can also access the tuner using the Onboard expression pedal. Push it all the way back to the heel down position and keep it there. The tuner appears on the display and mutes your sound, allowing you to tune quietly. It's also a really handy way to change instruments without making any noise. When you pluck a string, you'll see the note appear on the display. At the same time, the hex array buttons light up to indicate when you're sharp, flat, or in tune. This makes tuning so much easier in low light conditions, such as dimly lit stages or late night playing sessions. Out the box, the GX-1B comes loaded with 99 preset memories. These are complete sounds with amps, cabinets, and effects already dialed in. Use the up and down foot switches to navigate through a few memories and get a sense for how the pedal responds. Each of the hexagonal effects buttons corresponds to a section or a block in your signal chain, such as an amp, drive, modulation, delay, reverb, and so on. So to turn any block on or off, just simply press the relevant button. Without having to open a menu, this is the quickest way to A/B sounds and to hear what each block is doing. The expression pedal works as a volume pedal by default, so you can smoothly fade in and out without touching any knobs. Later on, you'll be shown how to set it up as a wah, but it's worth getting used to how it feels under your foot just for now. Let's start by setting up a blank patch or user memory. Open the right menu by pressing the exit and enter buttons together. Then press knob 3 to initialize a memory slot. Select enter to execute and then confirm. This process clears the previously saved settings and allows you to start building a new sound from scratch. With the blank memory loaded, hold down one of the effects buttons to start editing. You can move between blocks while staying in this view, and if you want to go back to the top screen, press exit. Let's keep it simple and create a classic fingerstyle tone. We'll use an amp sim, some compression, and some reverb. As we're going directly into a computer, we're going to simulate the sound of a real bass rig. Start by choosing a clean bass rig, something that feels open and clear, such as natural, studio, or silver. Then balance the bass, the middle, and the treble so it works well with your bass and speakers. There are endless combinations of amp and effect settings to explore, but the GX-1B's handy gear sweep function makes finding great sounds effortless. Inside each block, you'll find a set of ready-made gear sweep presets. With an amp block, those presets include the amp type, EQ, speaker, mic choices, and these settings are all conveniently stored together. Scroll through the list, select an amp preset that feels close to what you want, and then do the same thing, fine-tune the gain and the EQ as necessary. Once the amp and cab are sounding good, we can add a compressor in front. Set it so it evens out the peaks without affecting the attack too much. Each note should feel around about the same level once you're done. Dial in a little sustain and you'll make sure that the entire note feels like a solid bass tone. We could also add a touch of modulation after the amp and the compression. A slow chorus, a light phaser, or a gentle tremolo can add movement without dominating the sound. Keep it subtle so the core tone still feels like your bass rig, and you've still got a good amount of low end. Go to the modulation block and open up the gear sweep to access the effect's different presets. Pick one that complements your basic sound and tailor it to your liking so that it supports your tone instead of sounding like it's sitting on top of it. Once that's in a good place, add a touch of reverb to polish off the overall sound. Open the reverb block, go into the gear suite, and select a short reverb. Something that's going to provide a little natural space without washing out the attack and the detail. The GX-1B doesn't limit you to the default order of effect blocks, and you can easily move them around in the chain to hear how they react. To do this, press the Edit button. Then use knob 1 to select and move a block. For example, you can place a compressor earlier in the chain for more consistent dynamics, or move it to later on to smooth out the overall sound. Small changes in block order can make a big difference, so it's definitely worth experimenting with. As you can see, it's easy to view and customize your signal chain on the color screen quickly, and tweak the sounds using the effects buttons for instant editing access. Have a play and listen to how this memory feels under your fingers. If it feels good, save it. The GX-1B has 99 preset memories and 99 user memories. On the screen, a red P represents preset memory. whilst a blue U indicates user memory. Preset memories are the GX-1B's factory program sounds, whereas user memories are fully customizable. You can copy any preset memory to a user slot as a starting point, then edit and save it there. The original preset memory stays safely stored and unchanged, so your core templates are protected whilst you experiment on the user side. Once you understand that a memory is just a chain of blocks from input to output, the pedal feels much less mysterious. If you're on a user memory, don't be afraid to experiment with turning effects on and off and changing them. The GX-1B doesn't automatically save any changes you make. So if you want to revert to the original sound saved, move to another memory and then return. If you like the changes that you've made, you can save them by simultaneously pressing the exit and enter buttons and then knob 1 to select write. Next, name your new memory using knobs 2 and 3 and choose a location for it with knob 1. You can save your changes in the current user slot or in any of the other 98 user slots. The GX-1B features a built-in looper, which is great for practice, solo jams, and writing new parts. You can record yourself, play over any of your own backing parts, or build layers of ideas without needing any other musicians in the room. It's also a quick and easy way to hear how your tone sits against other parts. Activate the looper by pressing the center and right foot switches together. The word loop will be displayed on the screen to confirm that the looper is active. Simultaneously press the center and right switches again to turn the looper function off. By default, the looper is controlled using the right foot switch, which allows you to record, play, overdub, stop, and clear loops. Starting with a simple chord progression or riff, hit the switch to begin recording. And hit it again to close the loop and immediately begin playback. The looper sits after your effects, which means that after you've recorded a loop, you can change the sound of subsequent parts you play and record over the top. This is especially useful for practicing solos, where you might want to add more gain and reverb to the overdub part. Once the first loop is running, you can overdub more parts by repeating the process. Double tapping the switch stops playback, and holding it clears or erases your loop recordings. The GX-1B is built stage ready. Here, we'll take a look at how you can connect it, set levels, and configure controls. Firstly, the GX-1B has a range of optimized output settings that enable you to match the gear you're plugged into correctly. Picking the right one means that you'll get a consistent sound, whether you're going into the front of a bass amp, a DI box, a power amp, a full range speaker, or a PA. This is all controlled in the first menu we selected at the beginning. If you're going into the front of a bass amp, pick either bass amp with tweeter or bass amp no tweeter, depending on the cab you're using. If you're plugging into the Katana bass power amp in, choose Katana bass power amp in. If you're going into a power amp, FR speaker or PA, pick the line phone's output and let the bass rig on the GX-1B do the work. You can set your levels at home so they're roughly balanced and then fine-tune them during soundcheck. The GX-1B is able to slot into virtually any rig. What's more, you can customize the controls to suit your performance needs. In addition to the GX-1B's 3 assignable foot switches, a built-in expression pedal allows you to perform with dynamic effects, including wah, pitch bend, and volume. To activate the expression pedal effects, press the effect button labelled Pedal Effects. Long press it to access the editing menu and gear suite options. Bring up the gear suite menu, select a wah, and try it with the classic fingerstyle sound you just made. You can also turn the pedal effect on and off hands-free using the expression pedal's toe switch. It's activated by pressure, so you can toggle the effect mid-performance. Just push the front of the expression pedal all the way forward to the toe position and push down with your foot. By default, the tuner is activated with the expression pedal in the heel position when the effect is switched off. So remember, heel down for silent tuning and toe down to kick in the wah. Similarly, by default, when the pedal effect is disengaged, the expression pedal functions as a volume pedal. The GX-1B's expression pedal toe switch can be assigned to different functions, as can all three foot switches, including the onboard control foot switch labelled C1. Let's set it up and add a delay to the basic sound. Head into the menu and select CTL Func or Function. Here, you'll see various options, including the up and down foot switches, along with CTL1 in the first row. These represent the GX-1B's 3 foot switches. You'll also notice some further options underneath. These are for the built-in expression pedal, wireless controllers, and external devices that can be attached using a jack on the back of the GX-1B, such as an FS7 dual foot switch or an EV30 dual expression pedal. Using knob 3, scroll through the options and assign the CTL1 foot switch to control delay. Then use knob 1 to scroll down to mode, where you can select either toggle, which turns the delay on or off, like a latch switch, or moment for a momentary or unlatched style control. Pref sets the control function to be assigned to either all the GX-1B user memories or just the current one. Solo level refers only to FX1, 2, and 3 solo, ODDS solo, and AMP solo. This setting determines the level from 0 to 100 when the solo function is activated. Before heading to rehearsals and gigs, test out a different combination of sounds and then adjust them to your liking, and don't forget to match the output levels. The GX-1B sounds great on its own, and as a standalone multi-effects unit, you'll easily get to pro-level tones in a flash. But the Boss Tone Studio accompanying app offers a ton of extra functions, and you can make things even easier when it comes to editing and organising your sounds. Once you've installed the Tone Studio app on your computer or your mobile device, go to the GX-1B's Bluetooth menu and enable it using knob 1. Back in the app, you should see the GX-1B in the connection screen, where you can pair it with the unit. The main page shows the same chain of blocks that you see on the pedal, laid out clearly from input to output. Select any block to see its detailed view. Scroll through the effect types or gear suite presets and adjust parameters while you play. Every change you make in the app is reflected in the GX-1B in real time. Tone Studio makes it easy to rename memories, copy sounds between them, and build live sets for upcoming shows. You can drag and drop memories into a live set so the order on screen matches the song order of your gig. You can open Boss Tone Exchange from inside the Tone Studio app. Here, you'll be able to browse artist and user memories from the Tone Exchange global community, download complete live sets, and drop them straight into your own library. Find a sound you like, send it to the user memory on the GX-1B, and it's ready to play just as if you built it yourself. The librarian view lets you back up all of your memories, organize different live sets for rehearsals and gigs, and move groups of memories around in seconds. This is much faster than doing it on the hardware alone. And if anything ever happens to your GX-1B, you can easily restore your sounds from a backup in just a few seconds. You can also connect the GX-1B to a compatible mobile device with a USB-C cable and send the signal into a recording or streaming app. That way you'll get the same clear GX-1B signal you hear in your headphones rather than the sound in the room. Using the GX-1B to record is straightforward. You don't need to spend extra money on an interface to use a DAW because the GX-1B can act as one instead. Firstly, download the drivers from the Boss website. Then, plug a USB-C cable into your computer and you're good to go. The GX-1B sends 4 signals via USB. The first stereo pair carry the processed sound. This is the same as the signal at the headphone and output jacks on the back, and it's referred to as post effects. Create an audio track in your DAW, set its input to the GX-1B, arm the track, and hit record. This way, you'll capture the fully processed sound from your memory, including amps, cabs, and effects. The second stereo pair carries a dry signal. This is the direct, unprocessed sound from your bass with nothing altered. It's referred to as pre-effects. You can record the dry bass signal using your DAW and send it through the GX-1B later. Like the GX10, the GX-1B can send and receive MIDI over USB when it's connected to a computer. A DAW or other MIDI software can change memories for you, sync things like tap tempo, or move parameters with MIDI control messages while you play. The USB-C connection is designed for use with a computer, rather than a direct link to a MIDI foot controller. Therefore, a DAW or similar app that handles MIDI routing is the way forward. You now have all the tools you need to create sounds, manage memories, write, rehearse, record, and make the most of the Boss Tone Studio app with the GX-1B.